everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet the really lovely granny spike stitch. If you love crochet and are passionate about the craft, then you have come to the right place. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of my future crochet videos. Now the granny spike stitch is very simple and it gives a really lovely effect. It's almost a no holes blanket depending on the yarn that you use. This is quite large chunky yarn. I've got a couple on the table. Both of these blankets are currently in the naughty corner because I started this huge one under here and just wasn't sold on the colours I had chosen, or the order, or something about this isn't working for me. So this got popped in the naughty corner. I started a baby blanket version, and again, I don't know what it is with me at the moment. I can't settle on colours. So whilst I sulk about these part-made blankets, let's crack on and I can show you how you do the granny spike stitch. So the granny spike stitch has a pattern multiple of 4 plus 1. Now what that means is you chain in groups of 4 for as wide as you want your project to be, and then you add one more chain right at the very end. Now I'm just doing a small sample, so I'm going to pop a slip knot onto my hook. And I'm going to chain 25, which is my groups of 4 to take it to 24 plus 1. So that's my starting chain of 25 chains. Now we're going to be working into the 5th chain from your hook. This loop on your hook does not count as anything. You only want to count these completed chains hanging underneath. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to work into this 5th chain here. And into this 5th chain, you're going to place 3 double crochet all into that same chain. Now, if at any point I'm going too fast for you, you can slow the speed of the video itself by clicking the little cog icon underneath the video, or if you are on your mobile phone, 3 little dots in the top right hand corner. So you've got your 3 double crochet all into that 5th chain. Now chain 1, and we're going to skip 3 chains. And into this 4th chain here, place 3 double crochet stitches all into that same chain. Chain 1, skip 3 chains, 3 double crochet in the next. So you repeat this all the way down your chains. Chain 1, skip 3 chains, 3 double crochet in the next. When you reach your last 4 chains, so you've come all the way down the row, chain 1 and skip 3, and in that very last chain by your slip knot, we're going to end with 2 double crochet. Now for row 2, chain 2 and turn. We're going to be working into these chain 1 spaces in between your granny clusters from the row below. Now, a word of warning, row 2 is the fiddliest of all the rows. Once we've got row 2 out of the way, it is plain sailing from row 3 onwards. I'm also going to show you how to change colour at the end of this row. So we've got your 2 chains, and into this chain 1 space, place a double crochet. Now we're going to do a spike stitch. Now, if you look at these 3 chains that you skipped on the row below, aim for that middle chain. This chain here is where we're going to be putting our hook. So we're going to put a double crochet into this chain down here, but we're going to make it nice and tall and loose because you don't want the whole thing to fold up. So into that middle of the 3 chains you skipped, insert your hook, catch the yarn at the back, and you'll see everything is folding up and being quite angry. So pull it up a little bit higher than you normally would. So that 3rd loop there you can see is quite elongated. Then complete your double crochet as normal. One more double crochet into the same chain 1 space. Chain 1, and we're going to repeat this all the way down in between your granny clusters. So I'll show you again. Double crochet into that chain 1 space, spike stitch into the middle of your 3 skipped chains, and remember to pull that loop up. So you've got a nice long 3rd loop. You want it to be nice and tall. And then a double crochet into that same chain space. So you have double crochet, a double crochet spike stitch, and a double crochet. Chain 1, and repeat this in all your remaining chain 1 spaces. So when you have finished working your spike stitch clusters and you have reached the end of the row here, because you've got no more chain 1 spaces to be working in, chain 1 in between your 3 double crochet and your sort of skipped chains right in the very beginning of row 1 into this space here, we're going to end with 2 double crochet. Now I'm going to change color. So I'll do my first double crochet as normal. And then for my second double crochet, I'm going to stop before that final yarn over and bring in my new color. And I'm going to yarn over with the new color and pull it through those 2 loops. So I'm ready to begin row 3. Now row 3 is the pattern repeat row. So this row is the row you will do for the rest of your project until you have the desired length that you want. So chain 2 and turn your work. Now we're going to repeat the spike stitch cluster, working into these chain 1 spaces, but instead of working into the chain like we did for row 2, it gets a lot easier because we're going to be working into this middle double crochet of your group of 3. So double crochet into that chain 1 space, then we're going to do a double crochet spike stitch. If you scooch those stitches along, you can see the tops of your 3 double crochet from row 1. I'm going to do the spike stitch into that middle double crochet. Let's go underneath the V's of that stitch, yarn over and pull it up. Then finish as usual. One more double crochet into that chain 1 space, chain 1. So repeat this all the way along into your chain 1 spaces, and I shall meet you in our final chain 1 space over here. So I'm just finishing up my final cluster into this very last chain 1 space that I have on the row. And to end, chain 1, and we're going to work into the space, this chain 2 space of the beginning of the last row. So you've got your final cluster here, and if you pull it apart a little bit, you'll see your chain 2 space right at the end. So we're going to work into this space here and pop 2 double crochet stitches. So you start with a chain 2 at the beginning of your row, do your spike clusters and a chain 1 all the way along, and then end with 2 double crochet into your chain 2 space. So it is a really simple, easy to remember pattern. It's a nice little variation on the standard sort of granny stripe because we've got this lovely spike, and it just makes for really lovely texture, particularly if you're working with a yarn like this that has this sort of slight sheen. It just, it works up beautifully. You can also mix up how often you change colour, if at all. You could do this all in a solid colour, all in one variegated yarn. That would also look really pretty. But if you were going to be changing colour, here for the yellow, white, yellow rows, this is 2 rows, just like we've done here. So you've got your 2 rows of this eucalyptus green, and then I've got 1 row, and I'd go on to do another row in this silver. And that's how it looks when you are changing colour every 2 rows. This thicker band here, that's 4 rows. So you count your rows diagonally in steps, just in case you ever get lost. But you can mix it up for wider, narrower. You could just do one row if you wanted to and change back to another colour again, completely up to you. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please let me know down in the comments what you think of the granny spike stitch. Is it one that you've used before, or is this a new one for you? I would really love to hear your thoughts on this stitch. So until next time, happy granny spike stitching!